Let's get straight to it. The Minnesota Vikings got a new quarterback coach, and his name is Josh McCown. And there's a lot of things that I like about this move because not only he played quarterback in the NFL, he was a career backup for the most part. But the thing I like about this move is, I'm going to tell you why. Josh McCown literally might give the Vikings insight, real insight on the next great quarterback. And let me be more specific, the next great Minnesota Viking quarterback. Because Josh McCown was an assistant coach at Myers Park High School, which Drake Maye played. And he threw, Drake Maye I'm talking about, threw for 3,512 yards, threw for 50 touchdowns, and only threw 2 interceptions. And let me say this real quick, man. It seems like the dots are lining up. Not saying that the Vikings are going to go up and go get Drake Maye, but there's a possibility it could happen. And if Josh McCown is like, yo, he's talking to the GM and he's talking to Kevin O'Connell, and he's like, yo, I'm trying to tell you, Drake Maye is the best quarterback in this draft. And not only he's the best quarterback in this draft, he could potentially be an all-time great because I witnessed it. I coached him in high school. I know the potential. I know his weakness. And all his weaknesses, we could turn his weaknesses. We can enhance his strengths to be elite. And then for his weaknesses, we can make his weaknesses be his strengths at the end of the day. I know what I know. I have a feeling. I know it's a big chance. Josh McCown could be saying all this, giving them real insight. I'm talking about like, yeah, I seen Caleb. I seen Jaden Daniels. Not saying that they're not going to be great quarterbacks, but I'm telling you that Drake Maye is the real deal. You know what I mean? I hope that, you know what I mean, Josh McCown gives that type of information to our quarterback and our GM. Let me talk that talk.
Talk that talk.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like button if you haven't already. It's definitely going down. Join the YouTube family. You already know the vibes. Let's get it. But yeah, man, I'm going to keep it real. I like Drake Maye a lot, man. And I just feel like, for me, the eye test, man. I mean, I'm not watching hours of film studying every single play, but I would tell you the stuff that I did watch, the highlights that I did watch, and some of the games that I did watch when I watched them play against Clemson, when I watched the full game of Duke and they won it in double overtime. There's some things that I watched, and there's some plays, of course, some of these prospects do have weaknesses. None of them are going to be perfect prospects. That's why it's all about developing these players when they get drafted and building a team around these prospects. And I just feel like Drake Maye, for me, I know that ACC isn't the best college conference that has like the most elite defenses, but their defense isn't the worst, in my opinion, in college. That conference is not the worst when it comes to defense. It's okay. It improved. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. And for me, when I watch Drake Maye, the eye test, man, the ball placement is great. That's just my opinion. And in coverage, the ball placement is elite. And that's for both. That's for both inside the pocket and outside the pocket. I just think that he knows what he's doing for the most part. And I just think he's a tough dude, man. There were some hits that he was taking in the pocket, and he's making like on the numbers passes to his wide receivers as he's getting a hit, and he's hitting them on the numbers and making the first downs, making the touchdowns. You know what I mean? I like Drake Maye. And the one thing I like about him, he's very athletic, right? But the thing about his athleticism is, like I said before, he can make plays with his legs. He can definitely do that, but he's not just trying to get the first down with his legs all the time. He's looking downfield to throw the ball, and that's what I love. And I did make a video about 2 weeks ago or a week ago about Drake Maye. I like Drake Maye, man. And I just think the upside for Drake Maye, very good, could be a superstar in today's NFL. I truly believe that. He can make every throw you could think of off his back foot. There was one pass against Clemson that I seen that I was just like, wow, right? He threw it off his back foot, you know what I mean? Getting crazy pressure right in front of him. Perfect ball placement, right? Right to his wide receiver. And I believe it was like the front right corner of the end zone. And it was perfect timing. The ball had zip on it, had speed. It was a perfect pass, in my opinion. I like Drake Maye, and I would be ecstatic if the Minnesota Vikings somehow, some way get him. If he drops to the 11th spot or we trade up to go get him, I would be ecstatic to get him, to keep it 1,000 with everybody. And, I'm going to say this one more thing, man. Like, a funny fact, Kevin O'Connell was a third-round pick. You know what I mean? When it comes to being drafted, he was a quarterback, right? Josh McCown was a third-round pick, being a quarterback. And even though they weren't successful, like really successful, like McCown was more successful than Kevin O'Connell, obviously, because he did start some games. And he played on, what teams did he play on? Let me see what teams he played on real quick. He played on a few. He got drafted by the Cardinals, and Kevin O'Connell got drafted by the Patriots. He played on the Cardinals. He played on Las Vegas Raiders. He played on Detroit Lions, but I don't think he played any games, but he was on the Lions at one point. And I'm talking about Josh McCown. And then he played for the Panthers. He played for the Chicago Bears, the what else? Cleveland, the Jets, and the Buccaneers. And for the Jets, he was the backup to Sam Darnold. And there's a lot of rumors that the Vikings might be interested in Sam Darnold to make him like a bridge quarterback for the future franchise quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. And I don't like that. I honestly want to just start our guy and just see what he can do, get that experience underneath him. I understand a lot of people want our quarterback to sit a couple years, but then I look at it like this, because it could help, obviously. It's perfect examples of Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. The list goes on and on. But then there's examples of these quarterbacks just starting right away. Joe Burrow, I believe Andrew Luck started right away, right? Yeah, right. There's a couple other quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, and you know what I mean? It just depends on the quality of coaching you have and the quality of scouting, where you could build around these players to make them able to be successful. You know what I mean? You got to build a team around these players. They can't do it all by themselves, especially if they're a rookie. It takes time when it comes to quarterbacks to develop, and it's just a process. And we just have to get lucky and just think positive and hope that we pick the right guy in time. A 10-plus franchise great quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. We haven't had that in a very long time. And we deserve it as a fan base, because once we get that together, everything else falls in place. You know what I mean? That everything else will fall in place. But y'all let me know in the comments below how you feel about Josh McCown being the quarterback coach. It could only help. At least I hope it can help. And let me know how you feel about possibly moving up for Drake Maye, because this this could actually happen, y'all. It really can. But I'm out. This is the end of the video. I truly appreciate you vibing with the bull. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. I'm out.
Mike Sports Vibes, thank you for vibing with me. Yeah. Mike Sports Vibes, thank you for vibing with me. I'ma talk that talk about the Sixers and the Vikings. I'ma talk that talk about the Sixers and the Vikings. Let's go. I really do this. I'm a hybrid fan. I'm a stand-up man. Yeah. They be hating on the squads, but they really a fan. I'ma talk that talk about the Sixers and the Vikings. I'ma talk that talk about the Sixers and the Vikings. Let's go.